where a lake once shimmered, now is overgrown. Mud and memories remain.
Heavy rains collapsing multiple dams, forcing the evacuation of thousands of families.
Downtown Midland could be under approximately 9 feet of water.
M30 bridge, gone.
Here it goes!
It was May of 2020 when a wall of water tore through the heart of this mid-Michigan community. Catastrophe.
Our house should be right here, actually. Our house has moved.
The water actually came from the top side of the dam.
The Edenville Dam failed.
We didn't really know how fast it would move. We also didn't know the destruction that would happen when it moved.
Unleashing a flood that would erase entire neighborhoods, destroy livelihoods, and test the resilience of a community like never before.
All 3 buildings were picked up off the foundations and moved across town.
When the waters finally receded, nothing looked the same. Not the land, not the lives, not the trust in what was built to protect them.
Can you give me insight on what went wrong in Edenville?
A lot went wrong in Edenville. I think that Edenville had a long history of non-compliance with the federal agency that regulated at that time.
Now, 5 years later, lake homes have no lake. A marina with 50 boat slips, but no boats. A vast emptiness where water used to be. The people who live here feel forgotten, but we haven't forgotten. Their stories and their lives are lessons for all of us to learn from. This is the story of what was lost, what remains, and how a community still fights to rebuild from the day the dam broke. It really is the strangest sight, watching somebody cut grass at the bottom of what was once a lake. This is reality for those who live in Edenville after their dam failure 5 years ago. Wixom Lake no longer exists. For many downstate, here in Metro Detroit, they heard about the dams that broke, the lakes that disappeared. But most figure life is back to normal. Well, it isn't. And that's why we wanted to come back, to really show you what life is like here. This is their normal. Grass and weeds and overgrowth fill the spot where boats, swimmers, and fishermen used to spend countless days in the sun.
Let's get ready to go in my pool. Oh, Tim! Here it goes!
Some 2,500 structures were damaged in all of this.
Look at the roots.
Yeah.
And how.
And that shows you how strong that water was.
Yeah.
Kim Burchard's home was flooded. This is some of the video she shot that day.
15 minutes, it's already covering partial of the fence.
It's a blue-collar area. You know, there's not a lot, there's some money here, but not a lot. So people work for this stuff and it's gone.
11,000 residents affected. Now they want accountability.
It was our forever home. This was supposed to be it.
Chris and Laura built their lives around the lake.
And we're not rich people, so we never took
just
vacations.
Fishing and swimming, taking the kids swimming.
Our vacations, our summers consisted of, we would run home from work, have the beach bag already packed, he'd back in, pick up the boat, we'd be down at the beach dropping in, and we'd be there till dusk, come home, eat a little bit of food, fall down, and then do it all again the next day.
That breaking news happening in mid-Michigan. Heavy rains collapsing multiple dams, forcing the evacuation of thousands of families.
In the next 12 to 15 hours, downtown Midland could be under approximately 9 feet of water.
Their lives were destroyed May of 2020.
The water actually came from the top side of the dam, came around the trailer park because we assumed the trailer park would go, but it didn't, and then it came down into our property. We had to use snow shovels to dig out the mud, which is more than mud.
It was septic and all the petroleum waste.
Yeah, so we had to dig out that. And yeah, by the day 3, we had mold growing on every surface.
By day 3, we shouldn't have been inside our house.
No, we shouldn't have been in the house.
So you lost everything.
Yep.
This will provide a lot of mitigation and and protection.
Jennifer Boyer is the emergency management coordinator of Midland County.
Take me back to that May of 2020. You knew trouble was on the way.
Yeah, well, we were very uncomfortable with the current situation, and we knew that it's nothing we've ever experienced before, so there was a lot of unknowns. So when we were trying to get information and we really couldn't get clear information or answers to our questions, that's when we became concerned and felt that we needed to make some drastic decisions, important decisions about people's safety as soon as we could.
She made the call to evacuate. She was criticized at the time, but clearly it was the right choice.
I did not want our community in a position where we are trying to evacuate people in the middle of the night while water is flowing freely. We didn't really know how fast it would move. We also didn't know the destruction that would happen.
This was a hazard. These dams were a high hazard. They knew it. That goes to the state. The state should know these things.
Who knew what, when, and what was done about it? That's the center of a mass action against the state. Let's take a look at what's being introduced. Okay, so it was 2017, FERC, or the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, expressed ongoing concern about Edenville Dam, stating it was a situation that must be remedied in order to protect life, limb, and property. In 2018, FERC revoked the license of Boyce Hydro, the owner of the dam, citing long-standing failure to increase the project's spillway capacity. 2019 to 2020, there's a long list of concerns. Erosion of downstream slope, the dam failed to meet flood requirements. Then in April of 2020, EGLE authorizes to elevate and then maintain Wixom Lake's water level, despite knowledge of the risks to human life. Then May 19th, 2020, Edenville Dam fails catastrophically, leading to mass flooding.
We all knew that this was going on. It isn't like, ooh, this is something that was hidden. This is something that everybody talked about. Everybody knew. Everybody had a different piece or part of it, and we all kind of knew what was going on, but nobody was taking accountability or forcing anybody to do it.
Can you give me insight on what went wrong in Edenville? Because everybody has an opinion.
A lot went wrong in Edenville. I think that Edenville had a long history of non-compliance with the federal agency that regulated at that time. That was the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC. The dam owners there's 2 or 3 iterations of dam owners, failed to comply with the federal requirements for years, and ultimately ended up with the revocation of the license to generate hydropower in 2018.
Luke Trumbull is with EGLE. He was willing to talk to us, but not able to talk specifics in reference to the state's decision-making to raise the water. A month later, the dam failed.
I'm probably limited on what I can say about that because it's part of the ongoing litigation.
That part of the story will be addressed in court in early 2026. Meantime, residents keep waiting, rebuilding, and hoping repairs done to the dams will be completed in the next year or two, and they can get back to their lake life. But at what cost? Some estimates put it at $217 million paid by property owners over a 40-year period. For some, that assessment may be hundreds of dollars added to their monthly bills, and for some, that might be too overwhelming after already suffering the flood damage and repairs. They might be forced to sell. Their dream of lake life washed away. Coming up, here's a question for you. How do you run a marina on a lake when your lake is missing?
Hey there, buddy. You smell my doggy?
And we're going to keep the marina open. The locals have been really supportive.
Is it hard to look out there and see that overgrowth, or are you just used to it now?
We're just used to it. It's hard mowing it down.
It's true. I saw him working hard.
Living on a lake. There's so many, it's a dream. You save and save, build or buy, then finally you've got your dream home. But what happens when your lake house doesn't have a lake?
So this is Wixom Lake. I want you to take a look there. Obviously just filled, overgrown. You can see they're cutting grass here. This is the boat ramp. This is where all the boats would come and get their gas. They have, I think they said 51, 52 slips here at Stryker's Lakeside Marina. This is a family-run business. I talked to Gordy inside. He said, obviously, business is down 50%. I said, did you ever think of just leaving, calling it quits? And he said, you know, there are inland marinas. I don't want to quit.
You can say hi.
Hey there, buddy. You smell my doggy?
She wants to get her boat back. She likes to go boat.
Hopefully it wasn't too expensive. Those boat fixes, right?
It's all for fun.
So it never crossed your mind just to say, let's stop?
No.
Why?
Like I said, there's plenty of marinas that are inland lake marinas, and we've got employees here that that are need the jobs, and so we're going to stay open as long as we can.
How much has business dropped? You said 50%?
I bet it's about 50%, yeah.
Okay. What's the spirit?
It's coming around. I mean, at one point, people were a little bit concerned that we were going to be shutting down and all that. And when I said, no, we're not going to. We're going to keep marina open. The locals have been really supportive.
Is it hard to look out there and see that overgrowth, or are you just used to it now?
We're just used to it. It's hard mowing it down.
It's true. I saw him working hard.
My parents bought the marina 40 years ago.
Okay.
My dad was a big boater. He loved the boats, and we bought the business from another individual 40 years ago. And my mom was a professor at Delta College.
Oh, okay.
Taught business at Delta.
Oh, so she could help you with the books.
Oh, absolutely.
A little bit. Okay, come down to this level. Take a look at this. This is a boat ramp. Let me walk over the pile of rocks here. It's hard to believe you go through the sand, the silt, the plants over here, the brush. Get over here and you are at the bottom of Wixom Lake. How can you own a lake house without a lake? That's what these residents have been dealing with now for some 5 years. It's been hard on them. 800 residents recently wrote a letter to the governor asking for accountability. They've been dealing with the loss of their homes, the loss of a lifestyle they had planned on. Some 2,500 structures were damaged in all of this, 11,000 residents affected. And now they want accountability.
Accountability for a lifestyle lost, an investment just washed away. This drone shot shows the big picture, the enormity of it all. But coming up.
So you bought this 2019?
2019.
Dream home. How far did the water come up?
We're going to get up close and personal.
It was just below this deck.
We're meeting some of the families one-on-one to hear their stories.
This was all wooded?
There was 4 foot of water over top of this pool.
4 feet of water over the pool?
Over top of it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
To really understand what life has been like these past 5 years. And we're asking the question, what is next?
So you bought this 2019?
2019.
Okay. Dream home.
Dream home. Coming back to Sanford. Sanford Lake is the lake that I grew up on.
Okay.
Coming back to Sanford Lake, sold my family farm.
Okay.
And then spring of 2020, we had just barely a couple months to enjoy the lake, and then it's gone.
And this is what you have left?
And this is what we have left.
Wow,
We
it
have
looks like a stream.
We have the river. Now,
River, yeah.
you know,
How far did the water come up?
Okay, so our sliding glass door right here got blown out.
Okay.
The water level on the house was right about here.
Okay, heard a little bit of pressure going on the windows. We've got buildup on the door there, but it's actually holding pretty good where it's just coming to the top. The seals.
This grass that's out here, it took about 6 months of power washing the grass to get back to grass, because there was about 4 inches of solid mud. Our pontoon went 12 miles down the river and
12
over the
miles?
dam. Yeah,
Over the dam?
It went over the dam. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough coming back. Coming down into the basement, it's the water line is about right here. It's mud. Everything is thrown around. This is mud on the bar. That couch used to be over there. The treadmill obviously wasn't sitting here. This is our sliding glass door. The water obviously blew the door out, and now it's in the middle of the floor. Right here's the water line. It's about 4 foot, about 4 foot high. Literally walking in mud.
We need to get some different shoes
in the basement.
What can we use to seal this up?
Here's the residue.
What's it like? Do you enjoy sitting on your deck now? Or do you worry? What's it like?
You know, it's interesting. After 5 years, you start to forget what it looked like before, because 5 years is a long time.
Did you ever think of leaving?
Yes.
What made you
Yes.
stay?
Property values for one.
Yeah, you couldn't sell it. No one's gonna buy it.
I'm a Sanford native. I grew up on this lake. I needed to see this through.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of hang in there and see it happen.
Now I want to show you this. We're in Edenville. Take a look way over there. Beyond that bridge was the Edenville Dam. It broke. Water came crashing through. It broke that bridge. The water comes gushing through this area. In this spot was a farm. It took away the farmhouse. It removed so much topsoil, they can't grow here again. It's like the farm never existed. How high did the water come up?
The water come up to about this step, this bottom of this tree right here.
So from here all the way there?
All the way was water.
It was filled with water?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. And then how much water came into the basement?
We only had about 8 or 9 inches.
Okay.
But we had 4 foot of water up against our sliding door, and there was 4 foot of water over top of this pool.
4 feet of water over the pool?
Over top of it.
Well, it's coming to the point it's on my sidewalk. It's getting ready to go in my pool. Oh my God. Now I'm pissed. Oh, okay. Come on. You're gonna head in the house?
It's unbelievable, the power.
Oh, in 15 minutes, it's already covering partial of the fence.
Yeah.
And you can see all those trees too that are starting to get being taken out. That's 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So not quite 45 minutes.
Right.
And then that's it.
And then you see the fence right there.
Fence right there. So it hit my pool at 7:16. So this is slightly over an hour. We would never dreamt in a million years that we would have a disaster like that took our home, took our pool, took our liveliness, our, we're thankful nobody lost their lives, but they definitely lost a lifestyle.
They knew all the issues and the problems that were going on, and they never did nothing about it.
Do you regret moving here?
No.
No.
Both said it quickly.
No.
Yeah, this was where we wanted. This is where we'll be. We do not want to move. we wanted the lake back. We moved here for the lake. It was here.
And the next morning, when somebody sent an aerial picture into the shop, the doors folded in, front windows out of it. Water is still up in the windows.
And you lived there too?
Yeah. And I truly, at that point, wasn't sure I was going to survive this.
This is video of the Edenville Dam failing Tuesday night.
The area is still days away from those waters receding.
And all that water is coming downtown.
There's what appears to be your car upside down underwater.
Even on the foundation.
There is, yeah, because our house should be right here. Actually, our house has moved. This is where our house should be. This is where it is.
We've seen the spray look like Niagara Falls coming over the bridge. Once the dam gave way, there was a 20, 30-foot wall coming at us, and it was literally over the bridge, you know, before we could get up out of here. So.
There is a lot of finger-pointing, questions being asked and lawsuits being filed. Residents have joined class action lawsuits against the dam owners and the state. They say this all could have been prevented. How long have you guys owned this restaurant and coffee shop and bar?
Family owned since 73, spring of 73, so it's
Wow.
52 years
Okay.
now.
A lot of history here. So I grew up here since I've been 11, so seen a lot of things, you know, and then to see everything go out the door to the dump that I grew up with was, you know, it was rough. You know, some people understand and some people don't realize, you know, the impact of what it does to your life and the future. You're in the future. I mean, I'm going to be turning 64, so, you know, I'm almost starting over again.
So my biggest frustration is that everything looks nice from the outside in, but no one really knows the behind the scenes of what we really went through. We had just paid the place off in December before the flood hit. The dam failures hit in May, and we didn't have a payment. So, you know, we were getting ready to like start to redo it. We didn't really expect to have to redo it completely down to the studs. So we had to take out a big loan and do all the things, and I don't think he probably would have stayed if it wasn't for me. Because he literally said, like, I mean, I'm almost 60 years old. Like, I'm not gonna be here for this 30-year mortgage we're taking out.
So where do things stand now?
Lucky, my buildings were fine. I got lucky. I didn't have that. It was just emotional, and all the money, you know. The thousands and thousands of dollars was gone. I'd throw pretty much most of my inventory away and start over. It's 60 years old. It's like, I'm not sure I wanted to do that, but it worked out.
I hear time and time again the frustration obviously is accountability and financial help for the people who have survived.
Well, they seem to have money to throw at projects, but they can't seem to do nothing for us people. You know, they're throwing money at the dams, you know, some in the state, but yet they can't do nothing for people downstream of the dam that got flooded.
A lot of people don't realize if they're not a victim of flooding, some people assume it's just water.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it is so much more than that.
Well,
Talk to me
ours
about
was
this.
Yeah, ours was because the river flowed through our store and bringing all the lake mud. You can see there's mud everywhere, and everybody dealt with that. We're still dealing with that mud. And I would just thought that FEMA at least could give you a very low interest loan to help you get going. But Isabella Bank was right where they were, and I'd much rather deal with Isabella Bank than the state of Michigan or the federal government.
So my house got damaged, tri-level, lower level, living room, furnace area. So I had finally gotten another pump, a big gas powered one, and I was finally starting to make progress in my house when my phone went off. the berms around the dam. Everybody says the dams failed, but the dams, even though they weren't maintained, the berms were what broke and started all this.
Instead of a passive flood where, you know, the river comes up and you see it today and it's 6 inches over, and then tomorrow it's 15 inches over. And you're like, yeah, this is gonna be a bad one. And then emergency services comes around with a bullhorn that says imminent dam failure, evacuate immediately.
When did you realize this is going to be something different?
We have property on the south side of the rail trail too, and it was rapidly, much faster than in the past, coming up. Then when the dam report come out, it was failing in Edenville. We was actually loading up the last flatbed full of toolboxes, and whatever we could put on a flatbed, that's where we left the shop. And the next morning, when somebody sent an aerial picture into the shop, the doors folded in, front windows out of it. Water is still up in the windows.
And you lived there too?
Yeah. And I truly, at that point, wasn't sure I was going to survive this.
Everyone knows that, you know, the floodwaters are going to come and you're just going to go in and you're going to clean up and you're going to move on, because that's part of living near a river. What we didn't expect was for the dams to fail, the river to be redirected, for it to cross-cut through our town with a 10, 20 plus feet wall of water to pick up our homes.
When you come down the street and you know that your business was there and it's not there, does it still hit you every single time you drive by?
Anytime you drive through Sanford.
You
we
just
were all
think,
friends.
right.
We're family.
Right.
We know each other closely.
Yeah. Why did you decide to buy a marina?
Well, it was my retirement plan. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a lot of other businesses and I like to work. So to me, that was retirement. Work all summer, pump gas, serve beer, have a good time, and then head out for the winter. That was my plan.
That was your plan.
My husband was very sick at the time, and I wanted him to be able to sit and watch people on boats and just enjoy his life. Whew, let's not go there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bought it in December and then got cleared by the health department at 1 o'clock that day. Ready to open. I had a friend come by and say, you better get your boat out of the water. This doesn't look too good. Got the boat out of the water, and then I sat there and just watched the flood come in, and cops were yelling at me, telling me, get out, what are you doing? I'm like, I just can't believe this is happening. And then I did leave about when I got the alert that Edenville had broke. And I couldn't go south, I had to go back around, and then my businesses in Saginaw flooded too. So everything. And I agree with him about FEMA. I only owned the business 6 months. No SBA loan, no FEMA loan, no nothing, because I had no tax records. It was a slap in the face.
We owned Sanford Village Apartments.
Oh, that's right. Was it 2 buildings or 1?
3. We bought them after the 2017 flood.
Okay.
The previous owner had decided not to rebuild after the damage from the last flood. All 3 buildings were picked up off the foundations and moved across town and smashed into the woods. Nothing left but one set of concrete stairs and the gas and water pipes sticking up out of the ground. Every building in the neighborhood where the apartment complex was is now 40 Park. There are no houses left.
Summers are the worst for us in the weekends. It's awful. It's like a ghost town around here.
I just think that somebody's responsible.
Let's talk lawsuit and class action. You're a part of it. Talk to me about why it was so important to be a part of this.
Well, I think what the state forced onto Boise Hydro is their responsibility. When the people who run the dams sit in a hearing and say, we cannot do this, it's not safe, it will fail. And the people, the lawyers and the engineers and the judges sit there and just overrule them and say, this is what we want.
I don't think we're being heard. I don't think we're being understood at all. I think they just think we're all fine. And I don't think the state cares.
I mean, I just get so frustrated sometimes when I think about it. And I don't think about it a lot. I come up, I look at the non-lake. I have beautiful roses, and then I go home back to Saginaw.
And that's what you call it, the non-lake?
Yeah.
Next,
We're going to side door here.
we leave the coffee shop and head into some downtown businesses.
The sign on the back wall, that's how much water was in here.
Oh, that's the marker?
Yeah.
This is the venture that we started.
Talking to those who are determined to bring business back to Sanford.
So do you work every day, 5
Yeah.
days a week?
Usually 6, 7 days a week.
Okay. That's a lot.
Because we run 24/7.
Yeah, I guess so. And you said how many employees?
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah, we got a little older fleet.
And this is everything that, all of this is new, obviously.
Yes. We're still in the process of putting stuff together, cleaning. There's stuff here and here that still needs to be cleaned and put out front yet. The sign on the back wall, the 2020, that's how much water was in here.
Oh, that's the marker?
Yeah. In fact, that garage door right there, you can see it on. That's the clean part. That's the better part of the doors that was placed off the front.
When you said you lived in this building, where was it? Where did you have like an apartment type of thing?
Yeah, actually there was a trailer set right here.
Oh, okay.
I had moved out of my house over here, divorced. I don't need a 1,800-foot square house to live in.
No.
And I had a good travel trailer, so I moved it in here.
And then where do you live now? Did you do a house
I
or
built an apartment on the other side.
You did, okay.
It's only, there's a door that says private. That's my apartment back there.
You don't have to live on the water or near the water to be a flood victim. Folks in Sanford learned that right in this very spot. Take a look. It's called Porty Park. And if you look, there are different picnic tables all throughout this area. And what was here before? This was a neighborhood. There were 15 homes here, 15 families, 15 Christmases, 15 birthdays, graduation parties. But now, those homes are gone. The floodwaters came through and just tore those homes apart. Those homes went down the street. Now, there's nothing left. It's a park. People gather here, sometimes for summer concert series, to chit chat and talk and remember what was once a neighborhood.
This is part of someone's roof, I would assume. It's a rubber roof. And I just found it over here. I just pulled it from this spot. One little piece of it was sticking up. So I pulled on that little part, and this is what I got.
You just found that in your parking lot?
We find things here every day. See this, all of this plastic? I've been afraid to pull this because you never know where it's gonna end. We find glass and car parts. This is the venture that we started after we lost the apartments. We were looking for something new, something different. And we had a small food truck in Mount Pleasant for a few years before and thought we would do something like that again. So
people are appreciative that there's a little bit of a new business.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Oak stayed. All of the other businesses left. All of the other food businesses left.
You come back and the water's how high?
About the middle of that door.
Okay.
If you walked up to it, it was about up to my shoulder here, so
Wow.
right about here.
How much did you lose inside?
Everything.
Everything. Nothing to save.
Everything.
And did mold grow in the house?
Oh yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah, we ended up gutting it all the way to the ceilings.
Yeah.
And starting all over.
Did you ever think of, I just want to move out?
I had no place else to go. I have everything that most
And
people
that's the thing, you can't
most
sell
people
this.
don't understand
right.
that everything you got is in your house.
Yeah.
Now I've been here almost 35 years.
Yeah.
Everything's in here.
Carl Hammond is a Sanford city councilman, served the community for nearly 2 decades.
There were documents that were unveiled this summer
Yes.
in terms of the chain of who knew what. You're a city council person.
We knew.
Tell me what you knew.
We knew so much that we had in August of September of the prior year, 2 days of a scripted, what if this happens, with 5 different counties involved, all the hospitals, all the emergency management systems. We even had the National Guard, NOAA.
So when you were doing this drill, did you think to yourself, do they know something we don't know?
Oh, I did that.
What did you know? Like, what did,
Well,
tell
prior to that, about 10 years, 15 years ago, Sanford Dam right here, which is a block that way, was seeping through the dike. So we knew that they were in trouble for a long time. And the emergency manager from Midland County and the emergency manager north from Gladwin County, they got together and said, we got to come up with a plan.
Now, you as a city council person, did you just feel like you were this small fish in this
Well,
big lake, basically?
We have no authority. We have no way to do
You're not
anything.
controlling anything on
The
that.
county commissioners didn't either because we didn't have it. And they started to get it back, but when this is going on for so many years, nobody worked together. The federal government knew it was a problem. Boyce knew it was a problem. But instead of working together and coming up with a solution, because
Everyone was pointing fingers.
well, it's your fault, it's your fault, your fault.
And in
Well,
the
now we
end,
don't care whose fault
all the
it is.
water winds up in your backyard.
And thousands of people are going to lose their homes because they're not going to be able to afford to stay. And I know the numbers. I deal with them every day.
Can you describe the people in Sanford? What kind of people are we in this community?
Well, I tell you what, after the last 5 years, we've got some pretty strong people that live here. You know, I'm very personal friends with everybody here. And Melissa that rebuilt from Red Oak. Denny from the Cyan, from the hardware store. Denny just celebrated his 25th year of owning that store. And he was ready.
They don't give up.
No, but he was at the point that he was going to move over to the kids, and then he had to start all over again. And people don't see that everybody that stayed and fought through this, including Chris and Laura that lost their home, loved where they wanted to be, they're all double mortgaged. And even now, when I look at the numbers and see how the numbers are going through the county and what's going to happen and what's going to be mandated, the numbers aren't going to look good.
From what I'm hearing, people are fearing these assessments are going to just basically push them out of this community, and then the quote, rich folks from downstate are going to come up and buy all the property.
That's the plan. It's a suck plan, but that's the plan.
Coming up, a photographer's perspective from behind the lens.
I have fond memories of swimming in Sanford Lake.
Justin grew up near Sanford. He worked on the story with me for months.
What blew me away, the city roads where houses used to be are still there.
That and a statement from the Attorney General's office on this community looking for accountability.
So many times people ask us why we do stories, and this one was pretty clear. It's been 5 years. We had a manager actually was on vacation, was on US 10, looked over and said, oh my gosh, I still can't believe this site. We started talking in the newsroom, and that's where Justin gets involved because we work together all the time. He's our photographer, editor extraordinaire. And I talked to you about this, saying, let's go up there and really see beyond just driving by, because so many people downstate just drive by. Like, let's spend some time there and let's see what's going on with these people.
Well, yeah, I grew up only 10 or 15 minutes from that area, and I have fond memories of swimming in Sanford Lake because there was a nice park with a beach. You would go there for a picnic, you'd go swimming. It was just nice and convenient to take a short drive to go to the beach instead of going up north, you know.
So when you see it now,
it's a crazy, stark difference. Just the way it's kind of being reclaimed by the forest overgrowth. There's almost trees now growing where the lake once was, tall bushes and stuff. It's,
you know me, I always do the feeling question. You're a photographer. You always have that lens in your shooting, and sometimes you're not connected. But you had to be connected this time when you were shooting. What were you thinking when you were shooting the story?
It's just kind of sad. It used to be where lots of people had a lot of fun and fond memories.
I couldn't believe the people and their stories and how bad it still is. That one neighborhood, that park, that's all gone. It used to be all those homes, and there's picnic benches. I mean, they hold events there. They say they gather there, but it's so weird. It's like this entire neighborhood didn't exist anymore.
What's wild about that, what blew me away, and you know, I grew up there, but I haven't been paying attention because I'm working down here.
Yeah.
The city roads where houses used to be are still there. The city blocks are there.
Isn't
and
that
then
weird?
there's
Like the
nothing.
street signs, you see the street
Yeah.
signs like at the intersection of here and here, and then there's nothing. It's not like it's a field, it's
Yeah.
just nothing.
It's not normal.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I think it's so sad when you see, remember the gentleman when we went inside his garage? And he's like, this was not only my business, but my home. And I don't think a lot of people realize, again, here in Metro Detroit, they think it's, well, I'm sure it's better. I'm sure business is back. But this is a lake community without a lake, so people aren't coming to visit. There isn't the tourism. There aren't the weekends. They're not the dollars. So they just sit there and wait.
It's set back so many people's retirements.
Yeah.
It's set back their lives.
And that's what's hard too, because remember some of the people we talked to who said, okay, I paid for all of this, I saved all this, this is my retirement. But now they have to pay the extra money, and they're not gonna, some of them are afraid they're gonna have to sell.
That was the assessments on
Yeah,
the
the
houses,
assessments,
right?
yeah.
They have this extra assessment on top of their mortgages. They're in the hole.
Yeah. And they may have to sell. And that's what they always fear. We're gonna sell, and then these people with all this money are gonna swoop in and take my house and take my town, which you don't want to happen, but you feel for. And then all of the people, it felt like we met so many people who were of that retirement age, who were like, we were ready to retire. And then, I don't know, was there a moment when we were shooting this story, did something hit you or a person?
At the restaurant, the gentleman who owned the restaurant, he's getting ready to pass the business down to his daughter, and now you're passing down debt instead of a vibrant business.
Yeah. What did you think afterwards, after we complete the whole thing?
I just feel like there's a lot of unanswered, like not unanswered questions, but like their fate
There is a
still
what's
hanging,
next,
yeah,
yeah.
their fate is hanging in the balance. We still don't know how this is all going to turn out.
Yeah. Goes to court at the beginning of the year, next year. And we're going to stay on top of it. And we're going to follow not only the court, but we're going to follow the people's stories, because we use this title for this, our special, we said washed away, but it's their homes are washed away, their towns are washed away, and their dreams are washed away. Which is